Raiders fans, what a wild stretch these last days have been, and what a strange mix of emotions always surrounds this time of year. Every season, Thanksgiving rolls around and brings that familiar blend of chaos, tradition, rivalry, and unexpected twists on the field, and somehow the Raiders always find a way to sneak into the center of it all. It does not matter how the schedule is built or what the record says. Whenever this holiday hits, football becomes the soundtrack of the entire day. And this year, right when people were hoping for a peaceful afternoon around the table, the Raiders delivered another dose of that unpredictable energy that only this team knows how to create. Some call it frustration, others call it entertainment, but anyone who follows this franchise knows that it would not feel like Thanksgiving without a few heart-stopping moments thrown into the mix. As the holiday games approach, there is always that moment when everyone sits back and wonders what exactly this year's slate is going to bring. Thanksgiving football has a unique rhythm. The early kickoff hits right when the first plates of food start landing on the table, and instantly the atmosphere changes. Families gather, conversations slow down, forks get suspended mid-air as big plays unfold on screen, and suddenly every household becomes its own mini-stadium. Across the country, millions of people are locked into the same broadcast at the same time, all reacting to the same highs and lows, and there is something almost comforting about that routine. For Raiders fans, though, the comfort lasts only until the first sign of chaos appears, because with this team, the unexpected is practically guaranteed. This year's Thanksgiving lineup brings a set of matchups that are loaded with rivalry history, playoff implications, and enough storyline fuel to carry an entire week of debates. The early game sets the tone with a classic divisional clash in the NFC North, the kind of old-school matchup where neither side has any interest in playing nice. Every season, these two go at each other with the same intensity, and holiday games only amplify the hostility. One team trying to reclaim momentum, the other trying to prove it belongs in the postseason conversation, and both walking into the field fully aware that on a short week mistakes get punished twice as hard. Playing on Thanksgiving is not just about showing up. It is about handling the spotlight, managing the condensed preparation, and finding that extra burst of energy when everyone else is fatigued. Detroit steps into this game carrying the weight of expectations that have been building for months. Their offense has become a physical, punishing machine that tends to wear down opponents as the game progresses, and short weeks often favor teams that rely on power and rhythm more than tricky schemes. With a roster that leans on strong runners and a quarterback who thrives when the ground game is functioning smoothly, they have built an identity that travels well and hits even harder at home. Green Bay, on the other hand, arrives banged up, searching for consistency and trying to figure out which version of their offense will show up. Injuries, short rest, and a hostile road environment rarely combine into a pleasant recipe, making this matchup feel tilted before the kickoff even happens. What makes Thanksgiving football so captivating is that everyone watches with both excitement and impatience. People settle into their couches with plates overflowing, but their attention is glued to how each team handles the pressure. Passing games can stall, running games can explode, and defenses can look completely different in these holiday matchups. It is the kind of setting where a young quarterback gets tested in the spotlight, where skilled players have to deliver on national television, and where one mistake can haunt a team for days. Fans across the country will be locked in, and Raiders fans will definitely keep one eye on how other conference teams perform, because even in a tough season, every result matters in shaping the landscape. The mid-afternoon game this year is the one that feels like the entire football world circled on their calendars. It is stacked with star power, public attention, family dynamics, celebrity narratives, and playoff weight all smashed together in a single matchup. Whenever the Cowboys and Chiefs meet, the intensity rises automatically, but placing that game on Thanksgiving practically guarantees a nationwide spotlight unlike anything else outside a championship stage. Every snap is going to be examined under a microscope, and every big play will instantly become a trending moment. Both teams enter desperate for momentum. Both know they cannot afford to drop another key game, and both carry enough offensive firepower to create a shootout that people will be talking about for weeks. It is the type of matchup that consumes living rooms across the country, especially when families are split in their rooting interests. Anyone who has ever watched a holiday game surrounded by relatives who cheer for rival teams knows exactly how wild that living room can get. It is laughter, it is trash talk, it is groaning at questionable calls, and it is arguing over replays while someone tries to pass the gravy. And inside all that noise, the game becomes even more entertaining. The combination of a fierce Cowboys offense, a Chiefs squad hungry to reassert itself, and a national audience ready for fireworks sets the stage for a game that could easily turn into one of those unforgettable Thanksgiving classics. Every year, as the day reaches the evening slot, the tempo usually shifts. People are exhausted, stomachs are full, and yet everyone still gathers for one more showdown, usually one loaded with divisional tension. This season's late game continues that tradition with an AFC North battle that promises physical football, emotional swings, and the kind of gritty style that defines the entire division. These teams know each other too well, and familiarity often turns these matchups into tightly contested fights rather than explosive scoring showcases. The outside world might expect a shootout because of big-name quarterbacks and highlight reel playmakers, but fans who follow AFC North football closely know that these games often morph into something much more rugged and unpredictable. Baltimore's defense has spent the season proving it can smother even the most explosive offenses, and Cincinnati enters the matchup with questions swirling around whether they can find rhythm again. The return of a franchise quarterback brings optimism, but short week preparation and a defense this disciplined can disrupt even the best structured plans. In these divisional matchups, everything becomes magnified: timing, pocket presence, run support, tackling angles, and red zone efficiency. One slip, one late throw, one mistimed run can change the entire complexion of the matchup. Fans preparing for a high-scoring show might need to brace themselves, because AFC North football tends to turn into a war of patience rather than points. Thanksgiving football carries a different type of magic, and as the day moves through each matchup, fans ride a roller coaster of emotions that blend frustration, excitement, nerves, and celebration. And through it all, Raiders fans remain locked in, watching every result, comparing performances, analyzing matchups, and finding ways to keep the spirit of the silver and black alive, even when their team is not the one on the field. For a fan base that lives every moment intensely, Thanksgiving becomes another chapter in a larger story, one filled with loyalty, shared moments, and that unshakable feeling of belonging to something bigger. As the afternoon stretches into evening, the energy in living rooms, bars, and stadiums across the country reaches a fever pitch. By this point, the Thanksgiving games have already delivered surprises, upsets, and jaw-dropping moments that will be replayed on highlight reels for years to come. For Raiders fans, the thrill of watching other teams' fortunes unfold adds another layer of anticipation, because every outcome, no matter how far removed from Las Vegas, has ripple effects across the playoff picture and divisional standings. Conversations at the dinner table inevitably drift back to the Raiders, whether it is debating potential matchups, speculating about injuries, or simply venting about what could have been. This is a holiday where football becomes more than a game. It is an experience, a communal obsession, a backdrop to every bite of turkey, stuffing, or mashed potato. The late slate of games carries with it a different flavor. These matchups often embody everything fans love about divisional rivalries: the physicality, the emotional swings, and the strategic chess match that unfolds play by play. AFC North games, in particular, tend to be battles of attrition. Quarterbacks are tested in ways they do not experience in other divisions. Receivers run routes that are countered by defenders who know them better than anyone else in the league. Running backs hit gaps that are clogged with defenders anticipating every move. The beauty of these matchups is in the subtlety: a well-timed blitz, a perfectly executed screen pass, a missed tackle that turns a short gain into a long touchdown. While fans watching from afar might expect a shootout, the reality is that these games often boil down to which team can control the clock, dominate the trenches, and execute under pressure. For Raiders supporters, observing these games is almost a lesson in patience and appreciation. While the silver and black might not always be in the spotlight, watching how other franchises handle adversity, momentum swings, and playoff-caliber pressure is enlightening. Every dropped pass, every turnover, every strategic adjustment offers a glimpse into what separates a team that thrives under pressure from one that falters. This is the kind of learning experience that Raiders fans carry into discussions about their own team. Whether it is analyzing how a quarterback adjusts to a disguised blitz, or how a running back identifies a seam, or how a defense shifts in coverage to take away the opponent's strongest weapon, there is always something to dissect, debate, and learn from. Thanksgiving also carries with it a unique rhythm that affects how players perform. The shortened week, the emotional buildup, and the intense media scrutiny all combine to create a pressure cooker environment. Players know that every misstep is magnified, every highlight celebrated, and every mistake replayed across networks and social media platforms. For veterans, this is a familiar challenge, a moment to lean on experience and discipline. For rookies and younger players, it is a trial by fire. The spotlight is brighter than any other regular season game, and the stakes feel almost like a playoff atmosphere. This dynamic often favors teams with depth, chemistry, and the ability to stay mentally focused despite the external distractions. As the evening unfolds, the narratives from earlier games intertwine with the ongoing battles. Fans track momentum shifts, analyze offensive efficiency, and debate defensive adjustments in real time. Conversations around football are no longer about statistics alone. They're about storylines, personalities, rivalries, and the intangible elements that make the game more than just a scoreboard. Raiders fans know this well. The franchise has had its share of heartbreak, glory, and chaos, and there's a sort of kinship in watching other teams navigate similar highs and lows. Every interception, every third down conversion, every red zone attempt offers a microcosm of the larger challenges that every team faces throughout a season. Thanksgiving games also emphasize the human side of football. Players are away from family, traveling, and navigating media obligations, yet they are expected to perform at peak levels in high-pressure settings. Coaches must balance strategic planning with motivating a roster that may be fatigued or emotionally drained. It is a test of leadership, endurance, and adaptability. Fans witness all of this unfold in real time, creating a deeper appreciation for the preparation, grit, and skill required to compete at the highest level. Even for teams not playing at home, the intensity of the national spotlight drives every snap, every route, and every tackle to feel like a pivotal moment in a season that could define legacies. As the Raiders fan base watches these games, there's also the quiet thrill of imagining how the lessons and strategies displayed might apply to their own team. How will certain defensive schemes fare against the Raiders' offense? Which playmakers excel in clutch situations, and which falter under pressure? What adjustments might the coaching staff implement if faced with similar challenges? Even when the silver and black are not on the field, the mind of a dedicated fan is always active, breaking down plays, assessing tendencies, and debating outcomes. This mental engagement is part of what makes Thanksgiving football so uniquely compelling. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The air around the Las Vegas practice facility this week is thick with a familiar, electric hum, a sound directly attributable to the return of a beloved workhorse. Whispers that have been swirling for days have coalesced into an unconfirmed, yet palpable, reality. Josh Jacobs is back in the building and, according to deep-pocketed sources close to the organization, has immediately vaulted back into the Raiders' RB1 role. Following an off-season of contractual uncertainty and the lingering drama of a potential holdout, Jacobs' physical presence alone has injected a sorely needed dose of confidence into the silver and black offense. While the team kept a tight lid on the specifics, the mere sight of the veteran back participating in drills was enough to send a buzz through the locker room and the coaching staff. It is widely speculated that any previous running back rotation plans have been shelved, with the front office and head coach recognizing the sheer necessity of Jacobs' power and vision in the backfield. He is not just a participant. He is expected to carry the bulk of the load, reassuming the mantle he earned with his league-leading performance in previous campaigns. This move is not merely about talent. It's about establishing the identity this offense has lacked. With a new starting quarterback still finding his rhythm, the foundation of a dominant running game is critical to success in the tough AFC West landscape. The immediate buzz emanating from those who witnessed his first sessions suggests he hasn't lost a step. His cuts were reportedly explosive and his veteran leadership instantly apparent. The belief is that securing Jacobs as the undisputed RB1 will unlock the vertical passing game through the threat of play action, transforming the unit from a collection of players into a cohesive, dangerous machine. While official confirmation of his depth chart status remains tactical, the understanding is clear. The Las Vegas ground attack runs through Jacobs, and the team is ready to ride him straight into contention. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.